Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Micah Smith. We continue to follow breaking news, a shooting at Evergreen High School.
I'm Ryan Fish. Let's get straight to Jefferson County Sheriff's Office with a live update for us.
With the crime scene, ATF is also here, and then so many jurisdictions, I can't name them right now, a couple hundred. And just to verify, all three that were transported immediately from the school sustained gunshot wounds. And we think that that's it. There have been some talk about a fourth transport, and we just haven't been able to nail it down. I don't know why, but that's where we're at. Yeah.
Status of those three, are they still critical?
Last I heard, still critical. Any other questions from me?
Have you had any contact with the parents of the alleged shooter?
I believe parents for all victims and suspects are identified, and at least initially there's been some conversation.
You say that the shooter was shot. Can you confirm again, was that by law enforcement? Was that self-inflicted? Was that on school grounds?
All shootings occurred on school grounds, some inside, some outside, thus the variety of crime scenes. Law enforcement did not fire a weapon today, and the suspect does have gunshot wounds.
Did law enforcement tackle the shooter at all?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
Did the shooter attend Evergreen High School, or is that not?
Is the shooter from Evergreen High School? That's what I was told. It's a student at the school.
Does the shooter know the other two individuals?
We haven't been able to talk with the shooter. We're going to have to do some of that hard work ourselves. We have a lot of kids to interview. That'll probably help shed a lot of light on relationships and acquaintances.
Jackie, you mentioned that the parents are at the hospital with the shooter. If you're in the process of getting a search warrant, are you allowed to go in that home without the parents there? Will you enter the home without them being there? Or will you wait for them?
Once we have a warrant, we're going to do the work we need to do. Whether they're, I'm sorry?
Can you finish that? Whether they're there or not?
I don't know what the warrant says. I don't know what's in the affidavit, but we're going to do the work that needs to be done. Certainly, I'm sure we'd like to work with the family, but we'll do the job we have to do.
Jackie, you said earlier there were hundreds of witnesses that two shot. Is there any indication that this was targeted or random?
All of those are still possibilities on the table. We have 3 people who are shot. We have 1 suspect and then 2 victims. Okay.
Do you have a sense, Jackie, of like narrative of where shooting started? Was it outside of school, in the school, was it in the school?
I think it's those kids and teachers are going to help us piece it together. We know that we've got multiple crime scenes, and those interviews are going to help us figure out where it started and where it went next and where it ended up.
What's
So
the
we just
role
don't know
of
that.
the school resource officer? Can you talk about that at all?
Say that again.
A school resource officer, how quickly did that process?
There was no school resource officer at the school. Jeffco was on scene within 2 minutes, and we were in contact with the shooter within 5. It's never fast enough, but we're very grateful that it was as quick as it was.
So how was he apprehended? Was it by the Jefferson School resource officer that arrived, or other law enforcement, or did they just arrive and he had already suffered a gunshot? Do we know the timeline?
I can't give you I wish I could give you all that detail. I can't do that yet. The first on scene were pretty quick to find, they were at the school and pretty quick to find our suspect. And what happened next will be something that I'd love to share tomorrow if we can.
Jackie, you said the gunman was not shot by law enforcement. You just said that law enforcement made contact within 5 minutes. Are you in a position now to say that the gunman shot himself?
I can't say that. I can tell you that we did not fire a weapon today at the school.
So what should we conclude from that?
I understand the question, and at this point I can't talk about it. Law enforcement did not fire a weapon today.
Were there any other weapons on location other than the gun?
Not that I'm aware of. You're welcome. Any other questions? I have 2 people I'm going to introduce, but go ahead.
Do you know how many shots were fired?
I don't. Again, it's all great questions. Just we need more time to piece it together, and when we have it, we will share it. I promise. All right, I've got 2 people I want to introduce. It's the Jefferson County Sheriff. It's Reggie Marinelli and Evergreen Fire Chief Mike Weegee, and they're going to come up and say a few words. Thank you all very much for your patience.
Good evening, everyone.
It's a tragic day here in Jefferson County, as unfortunately we have experienced previously. Our hearts go out to everyone affected by this senseless shooting today. We did have deputies, as Jackie said, on scene within 2 minutes. Our partners at R1 Schools has been working with us throughout this tragedy. We had a metro-wide response. There have been phone calls to me from fellow agencies, chiefs of police, sheriffs throughout the entire state of Colorado, people out of Minnesota that have reached out to me, people at the state level, the federal level. So we have had a lot of outpouring as to resources and what people could assist us with, and we appreciate every single bit of that. This investigation will go on. We don't know how long. It's possible it will last days. We will release what we can when we can. The one thing I want to make sure that our citizens are aware of, we at the Sheriff's Department, this was our community. This was our people. This was our kids. We work with our citizens each and every day. We work with the kids in our schools each and every day. This affects us. I do want to stress to the citizens, please do not come just to look. Let us do our jobs. If you own drones, please do not put those up in the air at this point in time. We need to be able to do our jobs with the equipment that we have. And we ask that you refrain from doing that so that we can use our equipment in the proper manner to do the job that we need to do that's necessary. So on behalf of the Sheriff's Department, our hearts go out again to everybody affected by this, to our community. This is not just the people that affected today, but to the people that have been affected previously, where this is going to bring up some of what has happened in the past. A lot of care and concern for anybody and everybody that this affects. Thank you.
As the sheriff mentioned, our hearts go out to the families involved. It's a very, very sad day for the community of Evergreen. Evergreen Fire Rescue's role currently is in support of law enforcement as they continue to do their work. Evergreen's a strong, resilient community. I know we're all going to pull together around this.
Say your name, Mike, sir.
My name's Mike Weege, W-E-E-G-E.
Sheriff, obviously it's an emotional day for you. Can you give us perspective? You've worked here for many years. The call comes in, your crew responds. Can you take us through that?
Unfortunately, we've trained very hard for this with our response partners, including the sheriff's office. So
All right. It looks like we did lose audio there as Mike Weege with Evergreen Fire and Rescue was speaking, but even before we lost audio, you could hear how emotional Mike Weege was and just speaking to what they had to respond to today. He said, unfortunately, they are prepared for things like these. But you could see with Mike Weege and Sheriff Marinelli how close to home it really does hit, because this is their community, and it looks like we have been able to work that audio issue out, so we do want to get back out to the news conference.
I wish I could. I cannot even tell you how many different jurisdictions are up here helping us at this point in time. I know that Arapahoe County reached out, Denver, State Patrol, all the federal, FBI, ATF, Summit County reached out to me, Boulder County reached out to me. Those on scene are obviously our city jurisdictions with Arvada and Lakewood and Golden and Wheat Ridge. And so I can't even begin to tell you how many people are up here. We have history of working together as a team. We, as Chief Weege just mentioned, we train for this. We're prepared for this. It's not something we want to prepare for,
but we are prepared. And when it is time to put that hard preparation to work, we are able to do it and do it within fraction of seconds, quite frankly, to make sure that it comes together. Our biggest concern today, one of the biggest concerns, along with many other ones, was making sure that these students get back with their families. And so that reunification was huge to us. As many of you, I'm sure, experienced getting up here with the road conditions, with all the first responders getting up here. It got a little congested, but we made it work because of that preparation and that training that we have been doing for many years.
Sure, what do you say to parents, not just in this community, but people connected to this community, where there's wide periods of time where you guys have to do your job, but in that period, there's not any information that they can find or disseminate? I mean, how do you guys, as a law enforcement body, try to impress patience upon people during a very stressful time in which all they want is as much information as humanly possible, as fast as possible?
I can tell you this, I would never use the words patience with parents that are wanting to know where their kids are and if they are safe. There is no amount of patience in the world that can account for how a parent would feel, or a grandparent, or a brother, or a sister, or the children of the teachers. So patience is not something I would use. Just know that we are getting there as fast as we can to handle the situation. We are getting our experts in the field that deal with you guys on a regular basis, which is Mark Techmeyer and Jackie, so that you guys can get that information as quickly as possible so that our parents and our family members and the loved ones can find that information quickly. So hopefully that answered your question.
Did you guys have any drones? Not your office, but did you have civilian drones in the airspace today?
We did not. I learned from the quarry fire. I learned from the fires in California, and I learned from the floods in Texas. We need to get that information out quickly so that it doesn't hinder what we need to do. So that is the only reason I stated that, was so that there is not a hindrance in the future of what we need to do to get our investigation completed.
Thanks you guys very much. Appreciate your patience today.
All right, wrapping up that news conference there, hearing from Jefferson County Sheriff Reggie Marinelli, as well as others providing the latest update. And I know we have reporters and crews out there live who just heard that same briefing that we did, but just to reset a bit for you, the updates that came in from that at the top of the hour. We know now the shooter is a juvenile male, a handgun weapon, a revolver, and that there were multiple crime scenes at the school, shootings happening both inside and outside the school, and that in that chaos there were kids running in every direction, understandably, and that has made reunification efforts difficult at times, but they are working through that. The note we had in this update here is about 25 students left for that reunification. At this hour, we're now several hours after the shooting incident, so they are still piecing together that part of the response. We also heard from Russell Haythorne last hour that we would have an update from a doctor, a surgeon, overseeing the operations at St. Anthony's Hospital in Lakewood, where the victims are being treated, and I believe we have an update now.
On call this morning, we had the unfortunate events of receiving 3 patients who sustained gunshot wounds at Evergreen High School. I can tell you that our hospital did a tremendous job. We were able to take care of all 3 patients simultaneously. Great staff. I will tell you, we had 1 patient who sustained non-life-threatening injuries and is in stable condition. Our other 2 patients sustained injuries that are leaving them critically ill at this point.
And we understand of the patients that you're treating here today, they were all shot, correct, doctor?
All 3 patients had gunshot wounds, correct.
Were any of the wounds self-inflicted?
I don't have the details about that.
Can you go into a little more detail, Dr. Blackwood, about how you responded and what kind of system was in place, and also what kind of care each patient received?
Sure. Unfortunately, traumatic injuries like this happen routinely here. Us being a level 1 trauma center, we take care of penetrating wounds all the time. So we usually have a little bit of a heads up. We're lucky when we do. About 5 to 10 minutes of prep time, hearing that patients were coming. We weren't sure exactly how many patients, so we prepared for multiple. And that allowed us to take care of the patients very quickly when they came in. We have a big team that responds to incidents like this. The whole hospital, kind of shifts gears and is ready to respond to the number of patients that present. So we have a great ED staff, a great trauma team, lots of providers who show up and are ready to take care of patients as soon as they arrive. In this case, we received 3 patients kind of simultaneously in order, a few minutes apart, and we had a team that was prepped and ready to go.
Did they all go into surgery right away? Can you tell us anything?
No. All 3 patients came in to the emergency department first, where we could assess them and decide what they needed.
Are there any that had multiple gunshot wounds?
I don't want to go into the details of the patient's injuries at this time.
But you could say right now, doctor, at this point, do you believe all of these patients will recover at this point?
What I can say right now is that 1 patient has non-life-threatening injuries and is stable. The other 2 are critically injured.
Okay. I know you're limited.
The shooter is?
I don't have the details on that information. The sheriff's office would.
We understand 1 is still in surgery at this very moment. The rest was a few minutes ago.
I believe he's out of surgery now, or just got out of surgery.
Okay. Your hospital actually underwent critical training just a few weeks ago. I would imagine that played a significant role in preparation for today. If you can talk about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, we never know when these events are going to happen. So at least a few times a year, we do training dedicated towards mass casualty incidents. But recently, we did one dedicated to, a shooting incident where we received multiple patients that essentially, received gunshot wounds. This was just a couple weeks ago. So that routine practice always allows us to be better prepped for when these things occur in real life. Unfortunately, they are going to happen at some point, and we want to be ready when they do.
So the families are here, I understand, of some of the students that came here. How do you personally prep yourself to talk to these families, to let them know how their children are doing?
It's really hard. I try and be straight and to the point because I don't want to beat around the bush about what's going on. But, as a father myself, I can put myself in their shoes and kind of understand what they're going through. And I just try and be supportive and caring to them in this time. Unfortunately, these events don't just affect the patient, it affects the families, the friends of the patients, the school, the community, and we want to be mindful of all those people.
So you're the trauma director here, and you actually happen to be on call today.
I am.
What's going to happen from this point forward?
With regards to the patients?
To the patient care and for maybe the care of the staff.
We're going to, as far as the patients, we're going to keep supporting them with whatever needs they have, in the coming days to weeks. As far as the staff, we try and be supportive of staff. An incident like this can be really stressful and can make the staff, sad and depressed. And so we want to support our staff as well. We've already had a few meetings afterwards to make sure the staff is doing okay. I'm sure we'll have more in the coming days.
Have you been in touch with every family member of the 3 victims or the 3 people here?
All family members have been updated.
Is it difficult in a situation like this where you have one perpetrator that you're treating, so to speak, and then victims, and how you treat those families and keeping them separate and that sort of thing? Are you also trained on that?
We do have training on how to deal with those things. Luckily, that's not something that we have to deal with often, but we work as a team to give the patients what they need and to be there for the family members.
How have you worked with the Sheriff's Department and the other responding agencies in a case like this?
So, the Sheriff's Department and all the agencies like EMS, fire, participate in these drills that we do. So, we have protocols aligned for how we communicate with each other and help control the scene, all these things. So, luckily we've practiced for this, and the Sheriff Department has been a great partner today in helping us through this incident.
How long do you think the patients will be here?
Hard to say at this point.
I know you say you train on this, but it must be more difficult when the patients are juveniles, young people, kids. Talk about that and just the trauma of that for your staff and how you'll treat that.
It's always hard, honestly, with any age patient when something like this happens. It's unexpected. It's shocking to the patients, to their family members, to the community. We work really hard on just being supportive, not just medically, but in any way possible.
Have you worked on patients who've been involved in a school shooting before, Doctor?
We have.
Can you explain to viewers what a level 1 trauma center is and how it's different from other hospitals?
Sure. Basically, a level 1 trauma center is one that is equipped to taking care of the most severely injured trauma patients, the ones that have the most complex issues, the most complex needs. We go through lots of requirements to make sure we are up to speed and doing the things we need to do to be that level 1 trauma center. We work with both the state as well as the American College of Surgeons to make sure that our hospital is doing everything possible to be ready for events like this or honestly any traumatic injuries.
Can you speak a little bit more about the 2 patients who are in critical care? Are you anticipating them continuing to be in that critical care for days, weeks, possibly? What do you know about them?
Right now, I don't really want to give any more details about their where they are right now as far as their situation.
I know your information is limited on what you can disclose about the patients, but can you say if they're awake right now, or if they were able to talk to mom and dad?
I don't want to go to any details about the patients currently.
Can you speak to the setting inside? We can see that there's a lot of officers here. Are law enforcement officers talking with patients? Are they filling the halls?
There's definitely more activity inside the hospital, and it's I wouldn't say it's in any way disrupting the scenes. The law enforcement officers are being very mindful of the other patients we're taking care of inside, but they're being available as we need them.
How do you navigate when there are so many different agencies responding to something like this and you're getting new information all the time? Does that impact your care and your procedures?
It doesn't impact our care. Basically, we're going to take care of patients as they arrive for whatever they need. It's good when we have extra communication with people outside the hospital about what's coming in, but we're going to take care of patients the best we can no matter what. I have maybe one more question.
Have you spoken with police? Have you?
Our hospital has been communicating with the sheriff's office kind of consistently through this whole event.
And are you expecting police to stay here through the night?
That I'm not sure about.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, guys.